Either you rot in a nursing home, or you sleep on the street like the beggar you are." Those words came out of my daughter's mouth. My own daughter, Amelia. Her eyes were full of a hatred I never thought possible from the little girl I once carried on my shoulders. Her husband, Derek, just stood there, smirking, arms crossed. "We don't care that you paid cash for this palace, old man," he said. "You stink of smoke and failure. Get out of my house." I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply closed the only suitcase I had left in this world, walked out onto their marble porch in the pouring Florida rain, and dialed a number I swore 25 years ago I would never use. Before I tell you what happened next, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop in the comments what time it is where you're watching right now. Because this one's going to stay with you. Exactly 57 minutes later, the night sky over Coral Ridge split open with the roar of jet engines. A matte black Gulfstream, G650, the kind that costs $70 million, descended straight onto their perfectly manicured front lawn. Floodlights blazed, turbines screamed, palm trees bent like they were bowing in shame. A man stepped down the stairs in a $10,000 suit. Victor Langford. The Victor Langford. The man whose face is on the cover of Forbes every other month. When Amelia and Derek realized who had just landed for the homeless old bum they'd thrown away like trash, their knees buckled. My name is Raymond Caldwell. I'm 71 years old. 72 days ago, I was asleep in the only home I ever owned. 2 nights ago, I woke up choking on smoke. Flames were eating the walls I painted with my own hands 41 years earlier. By sunrise, everything was gone. My wedding album, my late wife Evelyn's perfume bottles that still carried her scent, the Purple Heart from Vietnam I never talked about, the crayon drawings Amelia made me when she was 5 years old. All of it, reduced to black ash. All that survived was the clothes on my back, and the old leather suitcase now sitting beside me on their porch step, soaked through in the summer storm. I had taken a cab to the address I signed over to my only daughter 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I handed Amelia and Derek the keys to a $7.5 million waterfront estate in Coral Ridge, Fort Lauderdale. Paid in full. Cash, wedding gift. I sold every stock, every bond, every retirement account I had, just to give my little girl the life she said she always dreamed of. I still remember the day we closed. She threw her arms around my neck and sobbed, "Daddy, I'll never forget this. Never, ever." She forgot. I pressed the doorbell with a finger that still smelled of smoke and melted plastic. Amelia opened the door wearing a $5,000 silk robe, hair perfect, face cold. "No. Dad, are you okay?" "No. Come in out of the rain. Just a flat, icy. What are you doing here?" "Sweetheart," I said, voice shaking. "My house burned to the ground 2 nights ago. Everything's gone. I just need a bedroom. For a few weeks, until the insurance comes through." She cut me off. "We already discussed this. There are beautiful senior communities or extended stay hotels. You'll have money coming, right?" I felt the world tilt sideways. "Amelia, I bought this house, cash, $7.5 million so you would never have to worry about a mortgage." Her eyes flicked to Derek's new Lamborghini parked under the portico. "That was 8 years ago, Dad. It's our house now. We've renovated. We've made it ours. There's simply no room." for someone who has nothing left. Then Derek appeared behind her, arms folded, Rolex flashing under the chandelier. "Let me make this crystal clear, Raymond," he said, voice dripping with contempt. "This is our home. You are not parking your tragedy on my imported Italian marble. Take the hint before I have security drag you out." He actually put his hand on my chest and shoved me, hard, back into the storm. The 12-foot mahogany door slammed in my face. The smart lock beeped. Locked forever. I stood there in the dark, rain pounding my head, watching perfect families through perfect lighted windows. Laughter, dinner, love. Everything I thought I had earned by giving them the world. I lowered myself onto their front step, soaked to the bone. My suitcase beside me like a coffin. The porch light I had personally installed the week they moved in cast a weak yellow circle around me. Through the glass I could see Derek pouring champagne, Amelia laughing at something on her phone. Life continuing, as if I had never existed. My own daughter had just thrown me to the street. I don't know how long I sat there, long enough for the storm to soak through every layer of clothing, long enough for my fingers to go numb, long enough to understand. No one was opening that door again. My phone buzzed. Insurance company. 6th call I'd ignored. I scrolled until my thumb stopped on a name I hadn't touched in 25 years. Victor Langford. 25 years ago, Victor Langford was finished. 3 luxury yacht dealerships drowning in debt. His wife ready to leave with the kids. Every bank in Florida laughing in his face. I was his financial planner. I worked 90-hour weeks, rewrote every contract, found hidden assets, begged creditors on my knees. I even loaned him $75,000 of my own money when no one else would. 4 years later, Langford Yacht Group became the largest private marine empire on the eastern seaboard. Victor is worth $4 billion today. He tried to hand me $10 million. I took back only the original 75. He never forgot. I pressed call with a hand that wouldn't stop shaking. "Raymond?" His voice still carried that same Carolina gravel. "My God, brother, is that really you?" I told him everything in 12 short sentences. Fire, rejection, rain. 1 suitcase. Then he said, "Give me your exact address. Do not move. I'm airborne in 5. 57 minutes later, the Gulfstream touched down on their front lawn like Judgment Day. Neighbors poured out of $1-million homes, phones up, live streaming. Victor stepped down the stairs, hugged me like a brother in front of the entire gated community, then turned to the porch where Amelia and Derek stood frozen in the floodlights. "Ladies and gentlemen," Victor's voice carried over the turbine whine. "This man saved my life when I had nothing. Tonight his own daughter threw him out like garbage. Not anymore." He looked straight at Amelia and said, "Pack nothing, Raymond. You're coming home with me." As we lifted off, I looked down one last time. Amelia was on her knees in the wet grass, screaming my name. Derek's face was ghost white. The entire neighborhood watched their shame go viral in real time. But the real storm was only beginning. Because 8 years ago, when I handed over that $7.5 million palace, I was still the most meticulous financial planner in South Florida. Old habits die hard. I never put the house fully in their names. I created an ironclad Florida land trust. The trust owns 51%. I am the sole beneficiary. They own only 49%. They cannot sell, refinance, or even change the landscaping. Without my written consent, they never read a single page. They saw "free mansion" and signed. 3 days later, at exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, a courier in a black suit delivered a thick envelope to their door. Inside was official notice that I was exercising my legal rights as majority owner. The screaming phone calls began before noon. Then the forged second mortgage surfaced. Derek had secretly borrowed $1.2 million against the house, forging Amelia's signature too. Then the offshore sports betting debts came to light, $380,000, to people who break legs for sport. Within 2 weeks, Derek was gone. Divorce papers filed, criminal investigation opened. Amelia showed up at Victor's oceanfront palace with my 7-year-old grandson Noah in her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. "Daddy, please, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." I opened the door. She collapsed into my arms like the little girl who once believed her father hung the moon. 4 weeks later, the house sold for $9.1 million. After all debts and fees, $5.8 million remained. I gave Amelia and Noah 70%, enough for a beautiful new home, college funds, and a fresh start. I kept 30%, more than enough to rebuild my own life. Better than ever. Derek now sells used Hondas on the late shift in Pompano Beach. Amelia and Noah have Thursday night dinners with me every single week. Noah beats me at chess 2 games out of 3 now. Some people call this revenge. It isn't. This is the story of a father who refused to let his daughter drown in a lie, and a daughter who finally swam home. Never forget this. The strongest revenge is becoming the man they cannot live without, after they decided they could live without you. If this story broke your heart, and then put it back together, hit that like button, subscribe with notifications on, and tell me in the comments, what time is it where you're watching right now? Because I'll be reading every single one. And until the next story, remember this: sometimes the fire that takes everything is the same fire that shows you who your real family truly is. Click the screen for the next one.